I'm Tom McKay. I've been investing for 45 years. FlipAnything USA, that's the channel you found if you found me. I'm kind of hard to find. They don't really treat me nicely in the algorithm. But what I can tell you is that people that when they do find me, they binge watch me, and then ultimately, if they can afford it, they get into my mentorship. I'll just say I claim, but I can prove it, but I've got more millionaires in my class, new real estate millionaires than anybody out there that's mentoring, and I challenge anybody to prove me differently. But I want to talk to you about this because, you know, I mentor people all over the USA, and yesterday's class, every Saturday I do about a 3-hour deal, and the people in the class, some have been in there 5 years. I've only been mentoring 5 years, right? My book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, came out. People bought that book, and then people started asking me for mentoring. So let me explain a little bit, because this is probably one of the best ways. I'm turning the camera on here, and I want you to see, first of all, right here. Now, I just left my home, and I want you to take a look at this street right here. From this corner to that corner, I've owned property on both sides of this street. I've owned, and actually, most recent one just passed on the left. But down this street here, I want you to see, I've owned that house you see on the right, that one on the right, this one on the left, and the other two before that on the left. I've also bought several more down the street. And I've made millions of dollars just on a handful of houses. I mean, I made probably $2.5 million on 6 houses here, okay? And not even counting the one we're about to pass, and the other 5 we're gonna pass again. In fact, I'll turn this on again because this is important if you guys are really sincere about wanting to make money in real estate. So I do this because it's convenient. God, I can really see it's so damn bright. But over here, that office building, I built that. That's 16,000 square feet. Okay, over here, this school, this Montessori school, this 20,000 square foot building, those are also my properties. I still own those. I've owned those for about 15, 20 years. Now, starting here, I've owned every property on the right. Starting here, that house, this house, the following house, the following lot, and this restaurant, okay? And we're gonna even pass a bunch more stuff, but I'm not gonna worry about pointing out everything as I go by it. But I'm just trying to get your attention here to establish some credibility with you so you understand that I know what I'm talking about. All the deals are near you. You don't have to go far away. In fact, I think I'm probably the only mentor that can tell you I can chuck a rock, hit something I own, pick it up, throw it again and again and again, and hit tens of millions of dollars in real estate. We've passed tens of millions just there, okay? Those buildings are big buildings. And, you know, they bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in rent. In fact, I'm going to show you another one. Here's another one. That one right there I own, right? Now take a look. There's a freeway right there. That's the kind of property. I mean, I like everything, right? But those are the kinds of properties that ultimately I aspire for all I mean, it's what I already own, but it's what I'd like my students to own eventually too. High quality properties that are in the middle of everything, that always stay full. They always stay full. When you're in an area that's surrounded by people, it's always going to be full. Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's that, you know, that's what you want, is you want to be in the middle of everything eventually. And I've got properties that I bought on the outskirts that ended up ultimately becoming in the middle of everything as things sprawled. Well, but there's an opportunity for you right now. If you've got 100 grand in the bank, or even less, because, you know, I won't even let anybody in my mentorship unless they have at least 50,000 liquid, not to invest with me, but to invest for yourself. But, you know, I bought and I'm telling you this because this is what you can do. Right now, values are they've gone down in value, and everybody knows in the class, we only buy below market value. You only buy below market. What the market value is today. Doesn't matter what it was last year, what it is today, right? And right now, you know, since the interest rates jumped up, they changed very quickly. And that's something that I'd almost never seen, even in my lifetime, is to have the inflation that we've had, but to have the values go up so quickly, and then the interest rate go up so quickly that everybody kind of got stuck, right? In large part, if you have cash, you're not so stuck. But if you bought, it doesn't matter what you bought, commercial, industrial, residential, you got this low rate. Well, now your property value, even though you own it, you got a low rate and you're making money on it, and it's a good deal for you. It's not necessarily good for everybody else, because they still have to borrow money at a higher rate than you to buy the same thing. So it's really kind of an unusual situation. But right now, if you bought a property, let's just say you bought a property, say $50,000 under market, which is not hard to do. Some of you think it is. I'm talking about $50,000 under market of what it is right now. Okay, there's a point of you can take. I'll just start with homes that are about $300,000 or $400,000. You get a $400,000 home, or let's say a home that was worth, say, $450,000 or $420,000. Okay, that home you can buy right now $380,000 retail. Buy it at a bargain, get it for $320,000 or whatever. I mean, I bought several of these. I bought 6 in the last 14 months. I bought one for $227,000 last Friday. I bought one for $270,000 3 weeks before that. And I got a video coming out Monday. You can take a look at one of those. It's already completely revamped. And what I'm doing, and I'm not really much of a speculator at all, but I feel very confident in our current president that we have, and all the things he's doing are right for bringing about, lower interest rates. He's a big advocate of that. He doesn't have complete control over that by any means, but the economy getting better is how we're going to get there. And you've got 18 trillion pledged in new businesses, and a lot of that stuff, it takes time, but they're getting the shovels in the ground that are starting to create the jobs, and then more jobs will come after that. But what I foresee is, right now, if you look at go to Zillow or go to anywhere where you got $400,000 homes in a city that is okay, go to Texas, North Carolina, Florida, you could go to anywhere that is typically working, anywhere that's not devastated by, whatever kind of problems there might be. Not every state is equal, right? Not everything is doing as well in some places as others. But overall, get near a major city that's healthy. You'll find that where you find a $400,000 home, and you get further out of town, you'll find a suburb, something built in the 70s, maybe, whatever. You'll find stuff that's $400,000 and even less, but it's all relative. But just say 400 and less. You take a look at what things are rent for, and you can use Zillow. Zillow is a good point of reference. So you go to Zillow and you'll see, this property was worth $450,000, now it's worth $380,000. Okay, well, you're going to buy that property for $320,000, which is not hard to do, because believe me, there are people that need to move. That you'll just find it. I bought 2 on the MLS. I got more than, in fact, the one I just bought is more than 100 on the market. So I'll make 200 on the last one that I bought Friday, and I'll make at least 100 on the one, and I'll even drive by them. I'm going to my girlfriend's house to have a cup of coffee. So I'm going to drive you by those 2 houses real quick, just so you can see them, okay? Because I don't want you to think, that I would never mislead anybody. Never mislead anybody. It's not worth it. I'm 63. My daughter's taking over my portfolio, and all I'm doing now is just focusing on helping other people make money the way I have been and still continue to do. And I'm doing only the fun stuff, which is the treasure hunt. And I'm telling you, you'll feel like you never worked a day in your life once you become a full-time investor. And I got many people in my class now, young guys in their 30s, full-time investors now, okay? And when they first come to work for me, they had a regular W-2 job. Had a guy making $60,000 a year. He's now making $180 to $240 a year. I've got another young guy, really neat. He got the Elon Musk letter. He's made millions. He's already made millions. And that's rich. And you can look at, I walked his retail center the other day, 48,000 square feet. You can see that actually on my website, FlipAnything USA. Urge you to take a look. but you gotta want it, okay? But so now I'm taking you into a neighborhood where I think I've bought 15 houses here now, and that's in the last 6-7 years. But I'm gonna show you the 2 most recent purchases that I've made, and you'll see more videos on these coming because, you know, one was a probate, the other one was a foreclosure. The first one I'm gonna show you here is a foreclosure. And look at you, you're not gonna get super slick stuff with me, but you're gonna get very, very real stuff. So now look at this first house here. This is my fence here on this house right here. And now, here's the property. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick peek at it, just barely. Okay, there it is, right? Actually, I'm pouring concrete. I just added that door, that front door you see there. It's not really a front door. I thought it's a perfect door. This is a perfect house for an entrepreneur, for somebody that works out of their home, and most people do now, because it's on a corner, it's near a freeway, and there's actually a gas station out in front of this place, which isn't ideal for maybe for some people, but it's really ideal. Take a look. There's gas station, but that door allows you to have an office separate from your home. That's like an office right there. So you have an office, you know, if you're a mail order guy, you got stuff going in and out, or maybe you're an agent, independent agent, you have somebody come by, they don't have to get inside your house. Now let's take a look at the house from the front here. I'm gonna practically drive in the front yard. And there's the house, right? There's the house. Okay, now I paid $270 for this. This is valued at $420, and I put in maybe 35,000 bucks. Now I got another house here. I'm going to show you this house. The same plan sold for $560,000. Okay, it's this one right there. I'm going to give you a good look at it here. Nobody's in the street. There it is, right? You got to look through the brushes here, but that's another house. Now I got that for $227,000. I'm gonna have to replace that driveway. Or I bought it so cheap I can, but you'll see garage door going in here. They enclosed it. Anyways, that's coming out. But let's see here. Hang on. But the first house I showed you, I'm gonna make at least $100,000 on. That second one I just showed you, that house, I paid $227 for the last one. It's also 300 square feet bigger than the one I just showed you that I paid $270 for. I'm gonna make, I wouldn't doubt if I make 200 grand on that one. And I'll tell you why. I believe that with a 1 point drop in the interest rate, and I think we're definitely gonna have that by 2027, you're gonna have, basically you're gonna return to the values that we had, maybe a 1.25 points, but we're gonna return to the values that we had before all this inflation bullshit. And so we'll return back to, I told you earlier on, something that was worth $450 is worth $380. That'll go back to the $450. And so that one that I paid $270 that I have, just say I have $310 in it, that one will go back to being worth $420, maybe more, but I'll sell that one. I'll make 100 grand on that. That one that is, that I just showed you a minute ago. In fact, I'll show you a little more if I can. Can I? Ah, damn. You gotta remember, I bought 15 houses in this neighborhood, so, and I bought, actually, it's gonna sound like bullshit, but see that? I own that house, and I also bought and sold the house to the left of it, right? So I still own this one. That one, I bought and sold. I actually bought that originally. I wanted that for my daughter, but she pissed me off, and so we had a little falling out, so she didn't get that one. She actually got a better house. But on this same street, and that's the next street over, that very same plan that I just showed you sold for $560,000. It was fixed up. It was done really nicely, and I'm gonna fix this one up. Not quite that nice. But you gotta remember, 227. I put 75,000. I'm 300 in on a house that same plan sold for 560. I'll probably make at least 200,000 on that property. Very likely, maybe even a little bit more. But you know, anyways, my point is, any of you guys could buy these properties with 100 grand down. with you put $100,000 down, the bank's going to give you a loan. I mean, unless you just absolutely destroyed your credit previously, I don't know. But I can't help that. In fact, I look for people that are responsible and disciplined, that have the discipline to save. If you have the discipline to save money, you're perfect for my class, most likely. And I'm opening up the mentorship again. I've been taking in new people here just recently. Go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, fill out the mentorship survey. You just go to FlipAnythingUSA.com/apply. And you can have a free call one-on-one with me. I'll give you the best advice I can. I don't care if you join or not, never any pressure to join, but I'll certainly tell you, you know what I think you should do and what I would do if I were you in your particular situation. And you'd be very, very, you'll see. So sign up for that, or sign up for the webinar, and you can get in a webinar with other people just like yourself. I love questions. I love smart questions. And I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's kind of early for some of you. If you have any questions, I mean, I guess if you have any questions, you could ask right now. If you got a question, go ahead. But I'm at my location, so I'm not going to be here much longer. Anyway, anybody got a question? Go ahead. I got to give you time to ride, right? Yeah, I tell you, you'll find once you become a believer, and what makes you a believer, I'll tell you what it is everybody's afraid they can't make that first deal. Then once they make that first deal, they're in just as much denial. They go, oh, was that luck? Then they have another one. And then slowly you begin to realize this isn't luck, this is a skill. And you can learn that skill. And most people that are, if you've already been in business and you've had some success in business, you can appreciate mentorship, you can appreciate information better than anyone. And but that's what you'll find out. So anyhow, look forward to hearing from some of you. I got to run, I got coffee going. So